Hello friends and welcome back to Kevin's Hobby Showcase. I'm of course Kevin. You may have also seen me on Tabletop Jones Productions, where John and I are the 288s playing board games. And for those of you on Patreon, then yes, this is the last video of the series of the Northwind Highlanders force that I've been building. And when I do the pictures, I'm going to have a nice little treat because I did dig up the two lances I had already done. Pretty much was looking at them before, and with very few variations, it's pretty much the same color. It's pretty much the same paint scheme. The only thing is on some of them, I think I did take a little bit of liberties with the green when it didn't have like a visible head. So, but otherwise, you know, they're pretty much the same. Actually, the base, I'm looking at them now. I'm sorry, I'm looking off camera. I didn't look too closely. I might have actually did them in snow like I've been doing the rest of these. So, you know, I inadvertently did the same thing. I don't know. Well, we'll find out. So anyway, let me show you what we got for today. First, we got a pair of Skulker tanks. I believe they're called light tanks. Yep, or scout tank. That might even be scout tanks. You know. And then we have. Oops, hold on a sec. We have two warrior attack helicopters. Now, these I'm going to be doing a little bit different because of the nature of it. I mean, basically, I'll take this one here just because it's easier. Piece comes off. You have a choice of this long piece, which is basically glass, or it's another shorter piece, which is pretty much underneath this one. Which is underneath this one. Now, when I prime them, I'm going to prime these helicopters without the base and without these. Because I don't want primer and paint to be getting onto these things, because it's supposed to basically kind of give you the illusion that they're flying, and I'd like to keep that illusion. You know, some illusions are good. You know, whoops. Of course, it'd be better if you don't drop it. So anyway, so first things first, I'm going to be priming these, and then when I come back, we'll start on base coats. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and the primer on these vehicles are now dry, and I'm now going to start on the base coat. Alright, so let's get to it. Okay. And of course, base coat is going to be tan. Now, I do feel kind of foolish in the intro to this. I was saying how I took out the other battle mix that I have for this faction, and that I had put the base in the same thing as this. Well, I was mistaken. Very mistaken. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was done in grassland, which pretty much is how most everything has been done. You know, that I've been doing so far. I just recently started to do a little variety on that. So yeah, I do feel a little foolish for saying that wrong. But, you know, it's always good to correct yourself when you're mistaken. So yeah, getting this, so I'm getting this, you know, the, whatchamacallit, the attack helicopter done in this color. Now these rotors don't move, thankfully, so because that would make this even more awkward. But here's what I'm doing. Since I need to hold on to something, because I don't want to get that that glass piece covered in any type of paint or a primer. So I'm holding it with this, and the rotors, when I do the gunmetal color later, are going to be done in that color. All right, that's that. Now let's move on to the next. Yeah, another thing I felt foolish on, because I normally do, you know, with the exception of my videos for the fan coverage of the Giants, I normally do 2 videos a week. So it's the 3rd week of the month, and of course, since, you know, on the 3rd week of the month I do the cooking videos. Well, here's the problem I ran into. See, because being that it is just before Christmas, and you know, I figured what better thing to do for a Christmas cooking video than cookies, which I have all the ingredients, but unfortunately, what I don't have enough of is the milk, which I thought I did, but I did not. So it's going to be delayed for a day. I mean, today is Friday. I had taken off for my daughter's birthday, which was yesterday, and I figured, why the heck not to take, you know, because I had days available, and I said, why the heck not? Let me just take off Friday as well. You know, give myself a nice little mini vacation. But this month is actually going to be full of those little mini vacations because because also, you know, I have scheduled vacation in between the holidays, Christmas and New Year's. So I have all those days off, and then so I had 3 days that I hadn't used yet. I mean, I was saving it for something specific, but because of circumstances beyond my control, I was not able to use them for that. You know, basically what I was hoping to happen didn't happen, and I know that sounds kind of cryptic, but I just, you know, it's a bit of a private matter, and I just don't want to get into it. But you know, the result is that I had 3 days that I could use. So I was in a unique position at the end of this year to have days free that I could use, and I could take extra time off. So I said, you know what? Why not? So the first week of December was the only full week of work that I had. The rest of the weeks, you know. So last week I took off Friday. This week I'm taking off Thursday and Friday, and then of course I have off between Christmas and New Year's. So, and I even, as part of next year's vacation, I even took off January 2nd because I figured, what is the use of coming back for one day and then going out for the weekend? I figured I may as well just take that day and not come back and not go back to work until after that weekend. And as I'm busy yapping, I got done with the base coat. Yay! All right. Okay. Well, sometimes when you're busy yapping, things go by a lot quicker than you think. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna let that base coat dry, and when we come back, I'm gonna do the green, and I'm probably gonna have to wait before I do the gunmetal and all that. So when I come back, I'll do the green details, and we'll see if I can maybe get the gunmetal details in, because and I'm only gonna need to do touch up on the base of the tanks, because since I just did the primer on the attack helicopters, I just did it on the piece itself, because you can remove it. So I didn't. So the base hasn't been touched. So the base is good. It doesn't need to be touched up. Doesn't need black paint on it at all, because there's nothing else on it. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna let that dry, and like I said, when I come back, I'm gonna start doing some details. All right. So stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and that paint has been given some time to dry, and now we're going to start on the green. All right, and we'll see what else I can do. All right, so let's get to it. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do green along the whole bottom of this thing. All right, let's angle it like this so it's easier to see. So with the attack helicopters, it's going to be a little bit of a unique situation where, unlike on a lot of the other pieces, this one you can really see the bottom. Okay. It's actually a little bit better than I thought it would. Okay. Had to resist the urge to put it right side up, which would basically have all that paint just probably totally get stuck to the cardboard that I put it down on. Alright. So anyway, this is going to be the last video for this series. Painting the Northwind Highlanders force. And once again, you know, hopefully one day soon, you'll get to see, get to see this and some of the other pieces I've done on Tabletop Jones Productions. Yep, that is the ultimate plan. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm probably gonna have to let this green paint dry first, because on both of these, it basically goes right where I would also need to put the gunmetal. So best to let this dry first before I start putting on that one. All right. Just about done with this one. So these are going quicker than I thought they would. It's always good to get these done quickly. And I am actually taking my time on them because I don't want them to look rushed. Because when they're rushed, or if it's obvious that they look like they're rushed, they just don't look as good. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. Alright, so we're almost done with this color. And yeah, I'm going to have to let this dry before I go further. Okay. Well, sometimes that's what you got to do. Little segments here and there to get the job done. Okay, well. Alright, so that was a bit quicker than I thought it would be. I'm going to let this paint dry, and when we come back, I'm going to do the gunmetal, and I'll touch up whatever bases have to be touched up. Alright, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and that green paint is now dry, and I'm going to now start with the gunmetal. Alright, let's get to it. Okay. That's a much better one. Alright, get the cockpit window. Get the guns. Alright, now let's see, there is a little bit on this edge of these wings. Alright, one before I get started on the rotor. Go back here. Alright, now let's get these rotors. Alright, so I do have another Battletech Force ready to go, ready to be painted. It's called Aerodynamic Light Force, or Light Horse, I'm sorry, not Light Force. Yeah, I got a lance of battle mix, excuse me, and then another package of vehicles. That'd be 2 lances of vehicles, and then of course the battle armor. So it'll be a lot like this one, except I don't have already existing lances to add to it. Okay. Alright. Yeah, looks like I got everything on that one. Let's go with this one now. Alright, start with the cockpit window like I did at the last one. I don't know if any of the sound is going through, but it's very windy outside over here in New York. And I just decided, like I said, I was going to do another video today. And I was going to do the cooking video for, and I was going to be making cookies. But, as I said, I ran out of milk. And because of the weather, I just don't really feel like going back out. I had already been out. And I had enough of it. In fact, I had gone to CVS because I had to go to the bank, and CVS is like right there. So I had gone to the CVS to get treats for my kids' stockings, stocking stuffers. And well, I guess at CVS they no longer have any plastic bags available, and I had to use paper. Well, it was still raining a bit, it was still drizzling, and when I got out of the store, it was still drizzling, and that paper bag got saturated and wound up disintegrating. So I had gone to a 7-Eleven. After that, I wanted to get my lottery tickets. Alright, hold on. Alright. Oops, dang it. Alright, any mistakes I make have to come out on the wash. So anyways, I was saying, so when I went to the 7-Eleven, I put the bag down so I can check the tickets I already got. And I already saw the rips. I was like, oh no. So I asked the guy at the 7-Eleven, I said, hey, you have any plastic bags? He's like, no, I have paper. So I didn't take it, but I should have. I really should have. So I wound up taking what I bought, and I had to fill it up in the pockets of my raincoat and hoodie that I wore underneath my raincoat. So pretty sure I looked pretty freakish, you know, with all that. Alright, not too bad. Now with these guys, let's get the wheels first. And then of course when I came home, I did my best to hide everything before I was able to grab a plastic bag I have in the house and put it all in there. Alright, and you know what? I'm just going to say it now because, I mean, I don't know how many of these videos you're going to be watching this weekend, but if you don't watch the next one, I figure let me say it now. Merry Christmas to all of you. I mean, I'll probably put it out on a short, but, you know, those things just, they'll just appear on people's feeds. They don't exactly get sought out. Well, you might get a notification, though, that it's there. For those of you who are subscribed, of course. All right. Now, let's see. All right. There's weapons on this, but they're very subtle. Just going to do my best to get every surface with the gunmetal that looks like it might be a weapon. And we'll also get this little satellite dish. All right. Okay. And most everything else is going to be kind of brought out by the wash, so I'm not too concerned about. Everything looks like it's just blended in together, so it will, once I do the wash, it will stand out. Oops, whoops. All right. It is a little difficult to get these wheels, but I'm getting it. Alright, just about done. Now these two tanks, these are the only ones that are going to have to use, I'm going to have to use like a touch-up on the base. Because, you know, as you can see, there's primer all over the edges. Okay, come on. Here we go. Alright, just thing. This nice little satellite dish. Okay. All right, that's it for the gunmetal. I'm gonna just get right into the black paint. There's no need to take a break right now. But like I said, all I'm going to need it for is just those two. All right, here we go. And like I said earlier, when I first started painting, I feel a little foolish because, I mean, I was looking over, and I was saying how the previous two lances of Battletechs, I had done the base in snow. Well, no, because I was looking at the ones I had done in this painting series. That's what I was looking at. So I feel a little foolish because I said, yeah, I inadvertently did it in the same one. No, I did the other ones in grassland. So yeah, it'll be different, but that's okay because it's like when you're doing the base, it's just kind of like for decoration. So it's not basically saying you're not committing yourself to using it for just one setting. That would be very, very foolish. Okay. All right. So progressing pretty good here. Okay. So we're going to let that paint dry. I'm going to get the labels on, and then when we come back, it's going to be basically basing and wash, and then it's all finished. All right. So you stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. All that paint is dry, and the labels are on, and now it's time for basing and the wash. So let's get to it. All right. Alrighty, as you can see, I have the snow ready to go. Yep. And since you see I have so much of it, I'm probably going to be using that probably a little bit more often. Alright, so now, being that this has like this glass spike in the middle, I got to be very, very careful because I do want to be able to remove it if I ever want to use the shorter one. Okay. Alrighty, and alright. Oops. Dang it. I keep putting my finger in it. Okay. That's better. Okay. Got to do the same for this one. So what I'll do is later I'll pull the peg out and just let it settle a bit, but not right now because now I'm trying to get it ready for all sorts of display purposes. Alright, let's get that in there. Let me see if I can not stick my finger in it like I did before. Alright, now these are the more conventional ones. Okay. Okay, and like I said, if you decide to do basing like I do, it doesn't really matter what type of terrain you put on it if you are going to do put terrain on it like I do, because it's just for show. It's not, you're not committing to only using it in a snow setting. And I mean, I don't know how tournament play goes. I've never been, darn it, I've never been in a Battletech tournament. I would like to one day, but I've never been in. And I'm sure that they wouldn't put those types of restrictions on any of the players. And I don't even know if they would even require your pieces to be painted. I do know there are some games that do that. It's like you can't use your like you can't use your pieces, your like your forces, unless they're totally painted. I believe, not that I've ever played this game, but I believe Warhammer is like that. Yeah, that's a game I've always been intrigued about, but it is way too expensive for me. Alright, so that's all the basing. Put that away. Alright, yeah, whatever. Alright, so the last step is the wash. Okay. Alright. Okay. Oops. All right, and most the impressive thing was that I did not get it on this glass piece. Not one drop. Okay. So yeah, like I said earlier, the wash is where everything will stand out, and it is not disappointing. It is making all of it just stand right out. Goes into all those nice little crevices, whereas the fancy people say crevasses. Yeah, look at that. I do love the way it just makes everything stand out. I never used to. I remember I never used to do this, and then when I was playing War Machine, guys were telling me about doing the wash and all that, and I was like, I mean, they called it armor wash, of course, because of the nature of the game, but I questioned it. I was like, I was like, why? And then they started telling me, and they started showing me, and I was like, oh, all right. So then I got some for myself, and then I did it. Now, alrighty, let's get this. Get those two pieces off there. All right, get it ready to present. All right, and here we go. 2 scout tanks, 2 Skulker scout tanks, and 2 warrior attack helicopters ready to deploy for the Northwind Highlanders. All right, that's what I got for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found this as entertaining as I could make it. Please like, subscribe, and share. I am up to 54 subscribers currently. I would like to, my next goal is 75. I would like to get to that as quickly as possible. And then please go to Tabletop Jones Productions, where John and I, of course, like I said, are the 2 days playing board games. And we are currently at 31 subscribers. We'd like to make it to 50 so we can start live streaming games, not live streaming. So, and for those of you on Patreon, please check out my exclusive content. It's mainly just me playing games solo, but I do have a game up of me and my son playing the game Star Wars, the deck building game, which is put up recently. So anyway, again, thank you for watching. Hope you had a great time. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you again. Take care of yourselves.